The American firearms company called Barrett was founded in 1982, and they've seen a massive amount of success in producing some of the most iconic and powerful sniper rifles available on the planet today. Their sole mission when they started out was to produce rifles featuring the 50 BMG, or the 12.7 by 99mm NATO round, and in their signature rifle, still available today, the M82, every piece of the rifle was designed by hand by the founder, Ronnie Barrett. Today we're going to look at the appearance of these rifles in Battlefield Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 on episode 11 of Through the Ages. So let's start then with Bad Company 2. Here, the Barrett we were given to play with was the M95, which is a bolt-action, lower-cost variant of the original M82 and included a few upgrades and improvements over the older M90 rifle. In multiplayer, the M95 was the 7th and last rifle to be unlocked in the Recon class, needing 34,000 XP to unlock. It was the slowest firing, slowest reloading rifle of all that were available, but it was the most powerful. It housed an anti-material round rather than just a standard round that the other rifles used in the game, and this meant it could do damage to all vehicles minus the tanks. This gave you a small bit of hope when it comes to attempting to take down a vehicle. Unless it was seriously damaged before you shot at it, you weren't likely to take it out, but you would be helping all the same. This anti-material powerhouse, however, needed to be balanced alongside other weapons in the class, and as such, it kind of falls into line when it comes to infantry damage. It will one-shot players at any range with a headshot, as with the other bolt actions, but outside short-range combat, the damage drops off from 100 all the way down to 50 at around 40 meters or so, which means it performs just as well as other rifles would. Using Magnum ammo didn't really help either. That only increased its max damage of 100 out a little bit further, and it was more of a wasted choice than anything else. It sounds like the weapon was intentionally nerfed, and I suppose that might be the case. You can't really have one player with a 50 cal sniper running around killing everyone in sight. That's just not very fun. The M95 was also available in the Spec Act kit, which was one of the cosmetic DLC packs that DICE produced for Bad Company 2. Here the M95, rather than taking on a special camo, which it already had on its standard variant, it reverted to a base matte black option, as if it had only just been made. In Bad Company 2, the weapon had a huge presence on the screen, and in the right hands, it could be a deadly precision weapon. Time now to look at Battlefield 3. Here, the entry from Barrett in the multiplayer is one of my favourite bolt-action rifles in the series, the M98B, but the M82 does make a brief appearance in the single player. Only usable in the mission called Kafarov, it comes equipped with an infrared scope. The M98B came into existence due to Barrett experimenting with the 338 Lapua Magnum round, with their aim to make a tactical precision rifle all of their own. That process started in 1997 and was originally shown under the name M98, but the model never saw the light of day. It wasn't till later on that the founder's son, Chris, took on the project and engineers produced what we know today as the M98B. In Battlefield 3 though, this rifle is every long-range sniper's best friend. You needed to amass 146,000 points with the Recon kit to unlock it, and it offered a maximum damage of 95 at close range, which certainly fulfills its role that Barrett had intended. It wasn't really ever challenged by any other rifle when it came to damage. The furthest anything else got was 80 maximum, but where it did struggle was its ammo capacity. Only 5 rounds in a magazine and 1 left in the chamber left you reloading more often than most other snipers out there, but for balancing reasons that was because the rifle was meant to operate more as a long-range sniper rifle, and assuming that's what you were using it for, most of the time you'd be a long way from the action, meaning you'd have that time to reload if you needed to. What the M98B lost in comparison to its brother, the M95 in Bad Company 2, was the ability to do damage to vehicles. As it didn't fire an anti-material round, but the 338 Lapua, that meant no more extravagant explosions of quad bikes and jeeps. But alongside the M40A5, the M98B was one of my favourite sniper rifles in Battlefield 3, purely for its sheer power. And now we come to Battlefield 4. Here we get a double helping of Barrett in the form of two that have made an appearance in the past. We have the M98B, again making its way into the Recon class, and the M82 coming in as a battle pickup in 3 different combinations of attachments, depending on which map it was placed on. Always coming with 10 rounds in a magazine and 1 in the chamber, the M82, no matter what configuration, has the potential to do some insane damage. It does 110 maximum anywhere on the body at any range, meaning it's a one-shot kill. And even if your aim is worse than potato level, you're still going to be able to drop bodies. The CQB variant comes with the American 3.4x optic, the mid coming with the 8x rifle scope, and the far with the 40x ballistic scope. All of the variants come attached with a bipod and a rangefinder, and if somebody's good with this thing, they really can do some massive damage to the enemy team. As for the M98B in Battlefield 4, it doesn't change all that much from its Battlefield 3 counterpart, but it competes more closely with other rifles in the game. That happens a lot with weapons in Battlefield 4, simply because there are more of them. And the SRR-61 here is probably its biggest rival. Purely based on its looks though, it wins for me over everything else, and in Battlefield 4 you can slap some cool camos on there too, which makes the weapon look even more badass. It does, however, come with twice the ammunition that you got in Battlefield 3, with magazines stretching to 10 and 1 in the chamber. Out of all of the rifles that we've seen from Barrett in the Battlefield series in these games, for me, I think the best one is probably the M98B in Battlefield 3. It had a nice rate of fire, it felt really punchy, and you could take down players at long range due to that insane damage. It was just unparalleled against anything else in that game. But the Barrett rifles are some of the best in the Battlefield franchise, and it's no wonder we keep seeing them cropping up. For me, their presence is now expected as a formality. The all-American design and power is something the game commands when the setting fits. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what weapon family or group you want to see me cover next on Through the Ages. And while you're down there, drop me a like as well. But until next time, my name is Westie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.